Hi there! If you clicked on this video, you probably have a couple questions. Questions such as, what is Marvel Rivals? Who is Marvel Rivals? And why is Marvel Rivals a game? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what my win-loss report looks like it's trying to translate me Morse code. Marvel Rivals is a 6v6, team-based hero shooter, or to those already familiar with the genre, the fifth ring of hell. Released December 6th, 2024, and was developed by NetEase and Marvel Games. The game at the moment bolsters 51 playable heroes, iconic heroes such as Squirrel Girl, Penny Parker, Luna Snow, Jeff the Land Shark, a giant fucking red T-Rex. Oh, and Spider-Man is here too, I guess.
Hi, neighbor.
As you can tell, this game has a lot of iconic and not so iconic heroes from Marvel's long publication history. And since I have an unhealthy amount of hours on this game and an autistic level of hyperfixation for superheroes, I've decided that I would tell you, dear viewer, about Marvel Rivals. As stated before, I know a lot of you have questions, and I can't promise to answer them all, unless you're wondering how come you lose so frequently every time there's a Spider-Man on your team. In that case, the answer is simple. It's because Spider-Man is a dogshit hero and provides no value to his team 8 out of 10 times. Others may have questions about the lore and the characters like Daredevil, who keeps mentioning that there's a beast inside of him. Which leads us to the next part of this video, the story.
The Fantastic Four will now perish by the hand of Doctor Doom.
Dr. Doom of the current Marvel Rivals timeline discovered and harnessed a new form of energy known to us as chronovium. Dr. Doom, being as reasonable as ever, decided that the best way to use said energy was to not only rule the universe, but the multiverse as well. There's only one real problem with this plan. Dr. Doom of the 2099 timeline also discovered chronovium, and he also discovered that his present counterpart has found it as well. He did not like this. So, he decided to confront his present self and discuss plans to use chronovium together and rule a cosmos in every timeline that there ever was. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. This is Dr. Doom we're talking about. He's a very petty and egotistical person. So both Dooms got into a scuffle and intended to wipe each other out, because you can't trust anybody, not even yourself. The ensuing battle would scale the entire time screen continuum, cracking and splitting the time screen, bringing in different heroes and villains from their respective universes. Those being the main, 2099, collapsing and mosaic timelines. That essentially covers the main story of Marvel Rivals, but there's more lore that I'm not equipped to cover. Every character has their own lore tablets, 3 to be exact, lore that drops every season on top of that, which you could imagine piles up over time, and I don't want to cover all that because that would make this video 12 hours long. So I'm gonna leave that to other more qualified YouTubers who are well more versed in this game's lore. Content creators such as Osuchin, they have channels dedicated to characters and their seasonal lore. He makes banger videos and I couldn't recommend him enough for any viewer who wants to understand the story just a little bit better. With that wrapping up the story, moving on to the part of the video you care about the most. Gameplay.
Release me! Release me!
It's shit. Okay, enough joking, I'll go into more detail. Marvel Rivals is one of those games where, after you lose, there's like a little devil on your shoulder whispering in your ear to just boot up another match. This shit hits like crack. I don't know how else to explain it, besides that it's just addicting. It's very fun. And every game you get into, it's a new journey, it's a new adventure, and you find some very odd specimens in your game. I know one of the things that pushes a lot of people away from Marvel Rivals is that the people who recommend the game or speak about the game say that it's very complicated and that the hero abilities are very all over the place, which I'm not going to deny that. There are definitely some heroes who have ability sheets that span for 3 pages, but once you play a certain hero, or even if you just focus on a certain hero in the practice range for like 5 to 10 minutes max, you'll have their abilities and base kit down pretty well. You'll notice once you go to select a character are 3 roles. These roles being Vanguard, Duelist, or Strategist, or if you're more traditional, Tanks, Damage, and Support. Throughout this video, I may just call them by their other names interchangeably, so just keep that in mind. Each role has a main job/task. For Vanguards, your job is to block damage for your team while dealing damage back and making space for your teammates. Duelist, you're tasked with securing picks and playing off angles to deal damage to the enemy team and their backline. And Strategist, you are tasked with healing your team and preventing as many team deaths as possible while trying to make plays with your ultimate. These are the main tasks of the roles, but within these 3 roles there are sub-roles that each character falls under. For Vanguards, they have Poke/Shield Tanks, Brawl Tanks, and Dive Tanks. Poke/Shield Tanks jobs are pretty cut and dry and they're pretty self-explanatory. Put up a shield or whatever counts as one and block incoming damage while trading damage back and creating space for your team, a popular character for this playstyle being Magneto. Brawl Tanks. Brawl Tanks typically play as anti-dive shield tank counters, making it impossible to take space since main shield tanks can't block the melee onslaught from Brawl Vanguards, a good example of this being Rogue or the Thing. Dive tanks are simple. Since they have a higher health pool on top of having high mobility / survivability, they are more prone to going after the backline of many team comps, and since they are so tanky. Drawback to the style of play is that they are easily countered by stun effects or CC tools, preventing them from using their abilities to escape when low. They also have a pretty low damage output compared to other tanks. PSA to any strategist watching this video, or any person who's willing to play the strategist role. If you are playing in a match and you notice that your vanguard has moved up 50 feet in front of you and created a football field's worth of space between you two, please move up. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you sit there away from your tank, not only is your accuracy worse because they're further and it's going to be harder and less likely for you to hit shots on them, but you're also isolating yourself and making yourself a prime meal for every diver in that lobby. Please, please, please move up. Thank you. Since I already mentioned them, strategist. Unlike the duelist and vanguard role, the strategist role only has two real sub-roles. Those sub-roles being main healers and off healers. Main healers are strategists who not only have good healing, but all around just a really good kit. They have good ultimates, good support tools, and good healing, and sometimes have really good damage. There are many main healers and Marvel rivals, but the three that I think of the most that you would probably see the most frequently would be Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, and Cloak and Dagger, whereas Luna Snow is teetering on godhood. Will Luna Snow be nerfed in the future? No, probably not. She's Zhong's golden child, so that's never gonna happen. That'll probably happen when the game is on its last leg, but who knows when that'll be. Anyway, back to talking about off strategists. Off strategists typically don't have the highest healing output, but to make up for this, they typically have higher damage to counteract the low healing. Now, a good example of this would be someone like Adam Warlock, or to those already familiar with him, the GOAT. Adam's healing doesn't come from his primary fire like other strategists such as Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, or White Fox. His main healing output comes from his ability Cosmic Lifestream. He has 2 charges of this, and they can regenerate over time or be acquired faster by hitting critical shots on targets or connecting shots with his life trigger, Cosmic Cluster, which is like an ultimate fire. Think someone like Zenyatta from Overwatch. Adam's ultimate is also not like any other strategist ult in the game, considering that he is the only character in the game to be able to revive his team en masse. Adam's ultimate, Karmic Revival, is active for 9 seconds and allows Adam Warlock to revive any fallen ally. As you can imagine, Adam Warlock does have a pretty solid kit, given it doesn't really flow the best, and especially doesn't really get to shine the most, considering that every character in the game who's a strategist is significantly better than him in every single way. Realistically, there's no point in playing Adam when you can play someone like Luna Snow, who does everything he does, but better. Besides having the ability to fly, but who knows, maybe in like a month or two, Luna will gain the ability to fly through, I don't know, musical notes or some shit. Duelist, you also have 3 sub-roles, those sub-roles being Dive, Brawl, and Poke. Alright, let's just rip the band-aid off. Poke Duelist, you're probably the most boring and overpowered out of the category between Dive, Poke, and Brawl. I don't know what else to say for this segment. They're just strong. They've been strong for quite some time. Not to say if you like them, you're like a horrible person or anything. If you like playing Poke, that's fine. But pretty boring. I mean, they throw damage down range, have escape tools, CC tools. That's it. That's Poke Duelist. 3 characters who embody the Poke Duelist role the best are Moon Knight, Hela, and Phoenix. Very strong, very easy to use. Don't really have a lot of counterplay besides just getting poked back by someone better. Dive Duelist, definitely the most loved and more appreciated out of the 3. Dive Duelists have it rough, man. Your job as a Dive Duelist is to literally ruin the strategist's day. Make sure they don't make it 3 feet out of that spawn room. Dive Duelists have high mobility, high survivability, with the drawback being that they are very, very utility based. If you drain the utility of any Dive Duelist or CC them at the right moment, they are pretty susceptible to any and everything. The characters I feel that embody this role the most are characters like Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Daredevil. Moving on, and finally to Brawl Duelist. Brawl Duelists are definitely the least appreciated out of the duelist category. Not to say that they're not strong or that they don't have a place in the meta currently, but they're definitely just not played as frequently. The role is very brawl focused, obviously it's in the name, but they're frontline heavy, and typically don't really specialize in doing anything better than a dive or poke duelist can. Yeah, they can go for the backline, yeah, they can sustain the front line, but I think what makes them at least appealing to me is that they're flexible. They can do both, and they don't really specialize in anything. They're a jack of all trades, master of none. They typically do have higher survivability between the two roles though, and they're basically like anti-tanks at points in time, especially in certain team fights. Like, you'll be trying to kill a brawl duelist and they'll just like walk away like unscathed with full HP. It's quite insane. I feel like the duelists who embody this role the most are Wolverine, Blade, and Mr. Fantastic. Again, that's not even me going into full depth for the characters I gave examples for. There's so much more to talk about with not only them, but for every other character in this game. So I want to encourage you, whether you are a new or a returning player, to go try out these heroes or others in the roster. Even if you are someone playing the game currently and you're watching this video, I recommend you try branching out and experimenting a little bit. I'd say that it's where most of the fun comes from when playing the game. I mean, I was baffled when I found out the first time that you could cancel Wolverine's Feral Leap with his Undyne animal ability to get more distance, so you could chain it with his ultimate to maximize your kidnapping potential. Understanding a character and developing a new tech with him is possibly one of the most satisfying things in this game, behind solo ulting Jeff Mains, of course.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change.
Well, we made it to the last segment of the video, the review. I kind of wanted to go off script with this and just be authentic with not only you, but myself as well, and let you know what you're getting yourself into. With this part of the video, and future parts of it as well, I do want to talk about positives and the negatives of said game I'm reviewing. Marvel Rivals has a fair amount of both, I'd say, but starting with the positives, and a pretty major one that I feel goes a little under the radar is the gameplay and gameplay feel, mainly. The way they are able to make you feel like these superheroes is genuinely impressive, and it's super fun. Being able to swing around as Spider-Man, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him, feels good. Like, I get why people play him, and I feel like a lot of people are happy with the way he turned out. And again, some hero kits couldn't be a little better. Again, we're in Season 9, and a lot of the base roster heroes are struggling to keep up with more recent releases, but that's to be expected. Overall, I think that the gameplay is super fun. And again, if you don't like superheroes or team-based shooters, I don't think this is going to really pull you in. But if you are a fan of either or both, this is for you. This game is 100% for you. It is fun. It's addicting. It's explosive. It's just fun. It's just fun. Moving on to the second positive that I have to give Marvel Rivals, the art direction. The art direction for Marvel Rivals is beautiful. It feels like and looks like it's straight from a comic book. It's awesome. The character designs are pretty cool. I like their own little spin they did with their universe to make it more, identifiable and, discernible from the comics. I like it. It's very fun. It's very cool. It's very artistic, very expressive, and that's what I like to look for in my superhero media, not fucking monotone, grayed out colors and leather jumpsuits. I hate that shit. I'm happy they went with the more colorful, artistic direction because that's the core of comics, right? It's color, it's pizzazz, it's all these things is mixed into one, and I'm happy they went into that. While we're talking about it, music, sound effects. I think the OST for this game is fucking banging. Not just like the actual in-game music when you're like playing in a match, but I also think like the main menu music and the lobby music is fucking crazy. Like, listen to this banger and try not to bust a move. Another thing I want to point out is that Marvel Rivals does have a PvE mode. Given it's definitely not the most in-depth system or PvE mode you've ever seen, but it is serviceable. It is pretty good, and they have improved upon it since the first PvE mode they did with the Zombies event. And it is a major improvement, and it is really fun and very addicting. It even has its own little loot system and power system and stuff like that. So all my Destiny and Warframe players, you guys can just like fucking fry your neurons and just waste away as you try to get the most perfect roll and perfect stat line for your armor and weapons for your characters that you're picking to run for the PvE mode. It's fun. And again, not the most advanced system you ever seen for a PvE mode, but for it to be in a PvP centered game, a team-based hero shooter, that's pretty impressive. Segueing on to another positive I think is important to discuss when talking about the positives from our rivals is the developers, like NetEase themselves. They are pretty damn responsive and pretty damn generous when it comes to giving out free rewards to the players and giving out just free content in general. I cannot name the amount of events they've released that have just been free that they just give out to the community because they just want to give back. And I love that. I feel like that's very refreshing, especially as somebody who plays video games a lot in this like free time. And I play live service games, I played, paid games, and I played single player games. And to play a multiplayer game that's free to play, that they don't just face fuck your wallet and face fuck you and waste your time and just ignore you, it's refreshing. It feels good being seen. Are they as quick to fix as many things as possible? No, not necessarily, but I do think it is something to be acknowledged that at least they try. They're making an effort, which is better than I can say for most companies that have live service games. Also, circling back to the whole power system, power fantasy gameplay I mentioned earlier in the positives, another thing I want to talk about is the team up system. The team up system got literally rehauled as of Season 9, and already the team up system was just a really cool system. It was really refreshing to see in the hero shooter genre, where it was just an addition to the gameplay, basically allowing different type of team comps with different variety of playstyles, because you'd have to pick a certain hero to be on the team to get the benefit of the team up. And it was a pretty good system. It was a little flawed because of the anchor system, and I don't really want to get into that, but it was good. It was really good, and especially when it released, it was something new. It gave you a reason to play other heroes. But as of Season 9, they basically just overhauled the whole system, where they basically got rid of the anchor team-ups, and essentially, it's not really a team-up system. It's more so like hey, everybody in the game gets 2 new abilities, and if you have the person tied to that ability on your team, you just get an enhanced effect that can make a pretty big difference for some characters. Overall, they just improved upon a system that was already pretty solid and just made it substantially better. Now, moving on, unfortunately, to the negatives. And man, oh man, we have some elephants in the room to address. I feel like the most major, most apparent one is the community. There's a lot of things to tackle within this, but I'm going to focus on 2 main things. Majority of the people within the community are very toxic. They're very weird, very hateful groups of people. I don't know how else to say it. They're just pieces of shit that don't really deserve much in life. I know that may seem harsh when you're listening to this, and from an outside perspective, but if you play this game and you see the way these people operate, you would agree with me, I'm relatively sure. A lot of homophobic, racist weirdos. And I know how ironic that sounds, by the way. A lot of the characters within the game are literally like people of color or gay or of some sort of, minority group. And there are people who play this game are racist and homophobic and ableist in a superhero game, in a Marvel superhero game, let alone. I'm fucking short-circuiting. I don't know what else to say. The community is just full of a bunch of dumb, sexist, ableist motherfuckers, and it is very, very exhausting playing this game, knowing that they're on your team and they're just actively throwing. And most of the time, it's always them. They're never really good at the game. I haven't seen one person of that demographic that's actually good at the game. The second part to that community topic was gameplay, knowledge and just opinions. The amount of people I've seen who play this game who are actively just disingenuous or just trying to push an agenda for no fucking reason is insane. One I've seen recently that had my fucking blood boiling on Twitter was Phoenix. Phoenix is possibly still one of the strongest DPS in the game. I'm not going to bore you with the statistics and yada yada yada, but she's a hit scan hero, can literally 3-shot, very strong. But someone was comparing the fact that she's permabanned every game when there are other heroes who can actively 2-shot every other character in the game. And I will admit, her damage compared to other poke characters is a little lacking. But what makes Phoenix OP is not her damage, it's her utility. She's like the queen of CC. She's literally the all-mother of CC. It's insane. I don't know how else to elaborate it. She has an ultimate that literally is map-wide, destroys all constructs on the map, and literally can 3-shot and stun you. That's what makes her permabanned. And her team-ups are also insane. but for some reason we're saying that she's banned because of her damage. Like, you're just being ignorant. Like, I don't know how to say it. Or maybe the dude didn't know that like it's not her damage that makes her good, which is fine. And you're always going to see different opinions from different parts of the community and different ranks. But that take was so fucking stupid, and that's like one of like a million horrible takes on this game. It's insane. Moving on to another topic similar to this one, balancing. I can get into a lot of stuff, but I want to just give you a general consensus. The balance changes, the balance philosophy is not good. I mean, fuck, recently, like literally a day ago, we just had an emergency patch where they nerfed Ultron and Mantis, who only had one day to really shine and show their potential of being just a good second strategist, and they got gutted, basically, and they buffed Gambit, Invisible Woman, Luna Snow, and Rocket Raccoon. Four of the most strongest strategists in the game. I don't know. Given Luna's buff was only an ult charge decrease, but she doesn't need any buffs. She's already like an S plus tier hero. She has been for quite some fucking time. That's not to mention the fact that in the game currently, she has a team up with White Fox that where if she's stunned, she can unstun herself. You heard me correct. She can unstun herself if she is CC'd by anything in the game. Doctor Strange ultimate, Thing ultimate, 100 other CC effects. She can just click one button on a 12-second cooldown and get out of it. Like, I've made jokes about it before that Luna Snow is like ascending to godhood. With this most recent patch and just this recent update of Season 9, she's literally ascended to godhood. She's become omnipresent. She's become stronger than the one above all. How the fuck can you get your soul pushed out of you and then like bring it back to you? Like, you're telling me you're stronger than Doctor Strange? I don't even, no, I'm not getting into it. TLDR, if you're not a strategist or a poke hero, you're just not going to receive any good buffs. Another semi-big issue is matchmaking. It's just not good. Sometimes in ranked or in quick play, it'll just match you with people who are just not in your skill bracket or not on the enemy's skill bracket either. Like, they're just not good, and it just leads to a snowball effect on both sides. Very rarely will you get games where it's like really close, but not to say it doesn't happen. I mean, you can. It's just very rare. Closely related to gameplay and matchmaking, I want to talk about the banning system in this game, as in banning of cheaters. It's horrible. There have been many cheaters on PC that don't get banned, and it's fucking insane that they just get away with the most obvious cheats and nothing happens to them. They get a little slap on the wrist. I don't know what goes on in the studio for them to think that like a 1 day to 2 days like ban is like meaningful, but we have to reevaluate that. I think even if you're a first time offender, you need at least like a year ban, because that is insane. And then a second offense is IP ban, which is crazy. I don't get how they're not punished as like harshly as you would think they should be, but it's insane. It's really bad. Since we mentioned banning of cheaters, let's talk about banning of characters. Yep, we're talking about the rank banning system. It's not horrible, but it's also just not good. The main issue I see people talk about, and issues I've experienced myself, is that in ranked, you can like double ban, or well, I guess in this sense, you can triple ban actually, the same hero. Like, both teams can just ban the same heroes, like literally 3 times in a row. That is fucking crazy. They have to fix something like with that. I don't know what the fix could be. I'm not an expert on it, but I would heavily recommend you just implement a system that just doesn't allow you to ban the same heroes. And I don't know. It's just bad. I see a lot of people talk about it. Just fix it. And the final issue I'd have to say I have with this game, and I've seen many other people talk about, is optimization. Really just optimize the game better, please and thank you. Reduce storage, get rid of unnecessary files and assets, and I think we'll be on track. I know it seems like I went on a little bit of a hateful tangent near the end of this video, but I want to just point out that Marvel Rivals gameplay is just so fun that like I keep coming back. Even with all those problems, I still keep playing this game. I still keep coming back, and I keep getting into more matches, and I don't know why. The game is just fun. Just pure, dumb fun, which I feel like is something that's been missing from a lot of live service multiplayer games in recent years. With that being said, if I had to rate Marvel Rivals, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. A lot of things can be improved upon, but overall, I think the gameplay, the music, the art direction is all executed perfectly, And I feel like later down the line, a lot of these issues can be just, you know, snubbed, and we can actually have a perfect game on our hands. Well, with that being said, that's the end of this video. There's a lot I could have said, and there's a lot more detail I could have went into, but honestly just felt like that's just not my field. I feel like there are so many other content creators that just touch on the community, the gameplay, and just hero-specific play styles that I just could not do justice. So with that being said, I'm going to recommend some YouTubers to you content creators as well. Those being Quan King, Covey, or 7-Foot Black Guy on TikTok. I recommend checking them out. They make great content. This is Baby's first video, so feel free to drop any type of criticism in the comments, or if you want to discuss anything I said in the comments with somebody else, or just have your own opinions on, you know, skins or character releases or balancing, just keep it respectful. That's our request. But with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.